Welcome to Trapping Inc. I'm Rich Mellon, and welcome to Season 7. Here's to 7 more seasons, okay? Episode 1, we're going to go chase coyotes. Spoiler alert, great year for coyotes. Going to be using a power ram, okay? And the power ram, this is the number 1, the coyote ram it's called, and it is lethal. In Alberta, just about all of our snares and that are going to be, it's going to be law that they're going to have to be lethal pretty quick. Lethality is an important thing. Let's talk about for a second, how does a snare work? There are so many myths, there are so much anti-language about a snare, and that they choke to death, they suffocate. Nothing could be further from the truth. What happens is the snare compresses the carotid arteries, which are in here, okay? Those carotid arteries control the blood flow to the brain. And once they're compressed, or occluded is the term that the scientists use. Once they're occluded, then no more blood flow goes to the brain, and the animal just grays out, goes to sleep, and eventually dies. It is no different than what we do to a UFC or MMA fighter, okay? All we do when we put them in that sleeper hold is we compress that carotid artery, the blood flow ceases to the brain, and they gray out. If they let go at the right time, they stay alive. If they don't, well, that's what we do with our coyotes. The thing about a snare, this power ram, is that this huge spring, when it's set here, there's a huge amount of energy, a huge potential for energy to get job done. And you got to make sure that you have the right snare for your ram, okay? This ram is 48-inch ram. It takes a 47-inch snare. But even if you take and say that a coyote's neck is the same size as my 3 fingers, you can see how much short that comes up. Because in actual fact, this snare is through here, and the coyote's head's over here. So it shows you how much pressure is being put on there in order to occlude those arteries. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get trapping. Trapping is the cornerstone that Canada was built on. Brave and sometimes crazy men and women, fueled by the lucrative fur trade, explored and mapped our great nation. Hundreds of years have passed since then, but trapping still remains vibrant, strong, and steeped in the ancient traditions. The fur bearers still follow the old paths and live as dictated by thousands of years of instinct. Fur only gets prime in the harsh temperatures of winter, and trappers must respect and prepare for the weather. Trapping's past is firmly rooted in history, but today, the gear and techniques have changed. Canada is still known for the best wild fur in the world, and today our pelts are sold on the global market. Our community is large, and our numbers are growing. We are trappers. This is what we do, and where we belong. Join us in our adventures. Welcome to Trapping Inc., the face of today's trapper. Nice load. Just setting up a bait today. And I've got a dump trailer pretty much full of wild game butchering. So let's take and see if we can get her to tilt. I hope it's not frozen to my tarp. I hope it'll all shoot out of there, but I don't know. Well, all we can do is wait and see, huh? In Alberta, when we snare coyotes, we do it off of bait piles. And you can see here's a big load that I've got from my local butcher shop there. It's moose and elk season when this is going on, and so I just got scraps, bones, hides, and that from the moose and elk that they're processing. It works fantastic, but the secret about a bait pile is never let it run out. You feed an immense number of birds, eagles, and ravens, crows if there are any around, but most of them are gone at this point, magpies. You're feeding birds more than anything, but those birds are making a huge amount of noise, and that attracts the coyotes. I like to set on the very edge of a field, like a large field, so the coyotes might be a half mile away and they'll see the ruckus that those birds are putting up, and that'll draw them in. But it takes a lot of bait in order to keep a bait pile successful for snaring coyotes. You can see my flagging because things get knocked down, it snows or whatever. I can lose a snare pretty easy. That one over there was knocked over by a deer. Got a flag here on this trail right here, and there's my coyote. Good one. Good, I hope so anyway.
Trapping Inc. is brought to you by these fine sponsors. At Old Smokes, we slow roast our coffee over a fire, making it smooth, flavorful, and memorable. You can order our smoked coffee online. Crafted coffee for the courageous. Southland Trailer Corporation makes a trailer for any job. Southland Trailer, behind you all the way. Why trust your hunt to anything less than the best? Carl Zeiss Sport Optics. Confidence in the toughest conditions. High quality hunting and spectacular trophies create memories of a lifetime. Let Guy Swart from Wild Horizon help you plan your dream African safari.